She had a clue. Oh, get out of here.
You need something?
Hi.
What you doing?
You want to be in our camera? You want to be in our movie?
Huh? No, I don't want to be.
Ben, you are the man behind the woman.
Okay. Thanks.
Literally, you're behind the camera, so you're the man
Yeah.
behind the scenes. She was letting us know that she couldn't do anything without you being her support.
That's exactly right.
You guys. What's the end result of this?
Well, I bet we're at a place where you could probably wrap up, huh?
Okay.
At least for today.
Hey, you don't know how much I appreciate you doing this, but they don't understand the importance of it yet, you know.
You know what I wish I could say is that my father had cancer,
What was that like?
and I wished that I had the skill set and the ability to.
Get some pictures, yeah. I love you.
I love you too.
Gosh, it's good. I appreciate you doing this.
I appreciate you and the coffee.
Yeah. Hi.
Today is Thursday, October 14th.
Already?
Can you believe it?
Yeah. Yeah, the thing I kind of wanted to do was kind of look at the time of life, you know, because we're getting shorter all the time. And do you know that I have cancer? Yeah. And I'm taking radiation for it, so I just kind of wanted to share, you know, what it's like. And I have no problem with it spiritually. I know who I trust, and I trust the Lord for everything. So I just wanted to kind of get an idea that I could look at and share with people and share with her. And I think, you know, we've just had a great life.
We have.
So, you know,
2 wonderful kids and 4 wonderful grandchildren
and great friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful church.
Yeah. Yeah, we, like I said, we came back here, 50 years ago?
1970.
And got involved in the community, and I worked and she did her thing. So, and I've never regretted anything that we've done. I didn't particularly like going broke, but like I said, I've had money and I don't have money. I liked it a lot better when I had money, but so far the Lord's blessed us in everything we've done. So,
Yes.
The way this came about, I had this thing come up on my head, on the side of my face, and I thought it was just one of those things that pops up. And I went over to Moeller Clinic over there for something else, and the Dr. Johnson looked at it and he said, "We need to do a biopsy on this right away." And well, they took it. 2 days later, they sent me to an oncologist, and he said I had a very rare form of cancer, angiosarcoma, and immediately he started me in on radiation treatment, which there's no protocol for it. It's all kind of experimental. But I got no qualms about it where I am, and I just want my kids to know that I've had a great time. What about you?
We've had a great life.
So.
We have a wonderful family, and we've had we've done a lot of traveling, which has been fun. And in fact, we are still trying to make sure that we get that in. And we went on a train trip a couple of months ago and had a wonderful experience doing that. We had been on one before, but this one was just for fun, and we had a great time. So
yep.
We're just so fortunate that we've had an opportunity to travel so much as we have. And of course, for 5 years, we traveled 12 times. We moved 12 times a year for 5 years. And with Ben's job, he worked as an electronics technician with RCA. And then we spent 2.5 years in North Carolina and 2.5 years in Florida. And prior to that, of course, we moved all the time. In fact, I have a list of the places. If I told the kids, I'd make the list of places where we have been and where they had lived. And I hope it's accurate, but it may not be. Depends on how good my memory was. But anyway, we've enjoyed every place we lived. We enjoyed everything we've done, and came back here and just on.
Yeah, when we came back here, everybody thought we were crazy because I was in computers, and we were making big bucks, and came back here and went into business, Peace TV, a partner, and
Just on faith.
she became a bookkeeper, and then the TV stuff quit. I mean, got to where just throw it away, you couldn't fix it, so went and did other things, and like I said, then I was in the satellite business, the big dishes. They quit, and I owed about $50,000, and went down here and talked to the banker and said, well, I got to do something that's either, rewrite it all or something, or we'll have to go bankrupt. And she had ends. She got ends everywhere. So Cliff Stone owned the bank down here, and he made arrangements for us to pay it off, and we did. Then she worked hard. She got a job at the college. Wait, was it the college first or Red Coach?
I went to I went back to the radio. I went to the college, and I went back to the radio station, and then I went back. Then I did the Red Coach.
And I don't feel like she's ever imposed on me. Everything I've done, I wanted to do, and so it's been a good time together. And Julie and Scott grew up in the back of a station wagon as we traveled, and we were just there with each other. And I think that's the secret to the thing is you got to be with your kids, and we were.
That was a great advantage to have him with our kids as much, because he had a better relationship with our kids than most dads do, I think, for that reason. So that was a real blessing in what we did. When you spend 24 hours a day with kids, why, you spend 24 hours a day with kids.
Yeah, I would explain a little bit about what my background was. I was in electronics in the Navy and went to school on it and got out. And when the whole thing was put together, I had the equivalent of a master's in electrical engineering. So my son-in-law, Roy, has got his degree in electrical engineering, but he didn't know a tenth of what I learned. So, it was back there. And then Scott is something else. He'd like to never get out of high school. Hated school. And all he wanted to do was mess with cars. And he worked with me down at the TV shop, just sweeping up and delivering. Came in one day and he's 14. He said, if I can get a job, can I quit? I said, yeah, thinking, he couldn't. Well, he got a job with Ed Blake and worked down there for 5 years in the filling station. And
learned mechanics, a lot of mechanics from him.
And then he got together and came in, would work for the Turnpike, had a great job, came in and told her one day, he said, I'm moving to Florida. And so he packed up and moved to Florida and was down there for a couple of years. And he got in with this company that paid for his education. So he went back to school. A little over 4 years, he had his master's in management. So, and then Julie, she got her MRS. And
she got her bachelor's degree first. Well, actually, I guess after she became an MRS.
And Roy, and they just got along fine together. And he was a pilot in the Navy, and now he's a pilot for Southwest Airlines. So, everything just been great. And the cancer now is a trial, but those things happen, and praise the Lord, I know who's in charge. So, you got any questions?
I do. I was going to first let you talk, and then I was going to decide what questions I wanted from there. So I think I may already know the answers to some of these, but I want to ask them anyway, if that's okay. So the first thing is, would you tell me when you were born and where you were born?
When I was born,
Mm-hmm.
I was born in the hospital right down here
Susan B. Allen.
in 1936. No air conditioning or anything. As a matter of fact, the doctor always remembers that was the hottest day of the year. And
Hottest day I ever felt. Dr. Bryant is the one who delivered him.
yeah, and so Lou grew up on a farm up at Cassidy, and then I was doing pretty good until my dad and I got crossways over whose car was what, and he told me to don't let the door hit me, just get out, you're done. And then I went to the Navy, and so spent 4 years in the Navy. I came back here, and just before I went overseas, I met her, and a friend of mine that I'd known for years. I was dating his wife, and Jean was dating Roy, and we met, and I don't know how we did it from then on. So this went on. She waited for me for how long? 2 years.
2 years. You were gone 2 years.
And came back, and then she gave me an ultimatum. Either we're going to get married, or I'm going somewhere else. So, isn't that right?
That's not right. That's the way he remembers it. That's also the way I remember it.
How do you remember it?
I remember it. He had made the most unresponsive proposal. At Christmas time, we had opened with my parents, and we had opened all the gifts, and my mother reached up on the tray, and she pulled this box out, and it was an engagement ring. That's how he proposed to me. Wasn't very romantic, but it was effective. And I said yes, and he has a wonderful family, and I had a wonderful family, and we're very, very fortunate. Our families just merged. My mother's name was Sarah Louise. His mother's name was Sarah Marie Louise. They had not met each other until the night before we got married, and they became instant friends. And my mother and his mother became very, very good friends.
Yeah.
And we were included in their family, and they were included in ours, and it was a wonderful merger of two families, and we were very fortunate. And I still have a lot of conflicts, contests, and just with his family a lot. My family's all gone.
And so, we just kind of winged it. I don't know. We didn't have anything we knew of, did we? We just kind of do.
We had good parents.
Yeah.
We were well parented. I think that made us decent parents. Hopefully, kids can tell you differently that, I guess.
Anyway, we moved all over and went to a tracking station for Massa in North Carolina for
2.5 years.
about a year and a half.
2.5.
2.5. And then we left there and went to Florida to the computer school and worked there. And she always gave me support and took care of the kids. And we just had several things. And one thing she said, it's time we get our kids back in church. And of course she grew up in the church, and I didn't comprehend what it was all about. But anyway, we got back, and then came back here and went into Baptist church, and we've been there forever. So, and Lord blessed us in everything.
He has.
And I just know what I could live for. So, my eyes issue from this radiation stuff. So, anyway, we just really love you as the other girl. So,
Yes, we do. You're one of our daughters.
Yep. We got about 3 or 4 of them, so, but everyone is different in a place, so I kind of hope Joy and Ruli would get, man.
Julie and Roy.
Julian voice. Mine all messed up my mind.
That's okay.
That Methasia, I want to know where I want to stay, and that comes right. But anyway, of
When
course,
did that happen? Remember, we talked about that. That happened to me also.
yeah.
When did that happen to you?
Oh, about it was 19. It was back here. I was working in the TV field, and one day we were working, and I went to say something, and the works didn't come out right, and lasted about a week, and then I never had it again. I went to Nephi. They checked encephalomam, did that, and didn't find anything. There wasn't any in her head. So, but right now, like I said, I think that this radiation is messing things up now. So.
We have to remember, though, that he's 85 and I'm 82, and we're not going to be like we were when we were 50.
Yeah, one of the best things I have is I have two sisters and a brother still alive, you know. And
They live here. They live close by.
And so I planned to live in 100, but it looks like it's not going to make it. So
We don't know.
That's true.
yeah, right. I did. Yeah.
God's in charge. We're not.
Yep.
Actually, we're going to live forever, but it's not going to be here.
Yep.
Maybe in brand new bodies someday.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. Well, that's about all I think I got to say. So
Let's talk about our kids a little bit. You know, we have two wonderful kids, Julie, she's Julie Peters now, and Scott Plummer. And Julie and Roy have Gretchen, a granddaughter. And she was born 6 days after our first grandchild was. And our first grandchild belongs to Scott and Ronnie. And then they have Talon and Emily.
we're having an interview right now, so come on over. Deanna Bond's recording it.
That's her favorite place. They live in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, and they don't have Taco Tico, and that's her favorite place to eat. Anyway, back to our grandchildren. Logan is our oldest grandchild. And then we have Talon and Emily, and Logan is married to Chelsea, and we love her. She's wonderful. Talon's married to Maggie, and we love her, and she's wonderful. And Emily is the youngest, and she is going to get married in March, the 26th, to Talon. Talon, and we already love him.
Yep.
It's not Talon. I'll think of his name. His name's Tyler. We love him too, and we're very fortunate to have great kids, great grandkids, and a great family. You know, I wasn't as close to my family as Ben was to his, but they're my family too. And my mother and dad, of course, are both dead, as his are. And then I had two sisters, and they're both not living. And he had a little brother who's not living now, and his mom and dad, of course, are both dead. But we've had wonderful parents. I think we were well parented. Yep. I think that helped us be better parents. And of course, the biggest thing in our life has been our faith, our relationship with the Lord. And that's wonderful. We've had a wonderful life at First Baptist Church. And I just retired from being their church musician after 50 years. And I probably waited too long to be beyond my skills. But anyway, I loved doing that, and I loved being that part of church. But another part of my life that was wonderful was being the sponsor for Campus Crusade when I worked at Butler County Community College. It was Butler County Community College then. It's Butler County College now. Anyway, Kirk Merwin came back here. He got a hold of me, and we started Campus Crusade again. They'd had it, and it went apart. But that's been one of the high spiritual points of my life, of knowing with Campus Crusade, of learning so many things about faith and about service, and my relationship with all those kids, it's just been wonderful.
Yeah, we took a mission trip to Haiti. We were down there a week, and it was a good experience. It's not a good place to go, but we had a great time down there.
Our kids loved it.
Yep, and Julie is blonde and fair, and those Haitians just couldn't keep their hands off of her.
Blanco, they wanted to touch her, and she was never afraid.
Well, I think that'll call it. We'll end it, unless you got a question.
Well, I was just thinking, I was just allowing to see if anything else came out. How long have you two been married?
60,
Who what?
How long have you been married?
62 years. He'll be 63 in January. I tried to make it as simple as I could so he would remember our anniversary. 1, 2, 3, January for January.
I never could
23rd.
remember.
We were married at First Baptist Church. I was baptized there, and our kids were baptized there, and some of our grandkids have been baptized there. So our spiritual life has probably been, I've done lots of things, and so has he in our life. But the most important thing to us, I think, has been our spiritual life and our relationships with people such as you, and to the wonderful experiences we've had as being a Christian, and doing things that made us have Christian growth has been wonderful. So.
And something that I observe, I know Ben says that you're a great help for him and you've always supported him, but I think Ben is pretty humble and doesn't, mention that how he supported you.
He supported me through a lot of things. I've first of all, I had a hysterectomy when I was 27 years old. We were fortunate to have 2 kids. And then since we've lived here, I've had cancer, got me through that. And I fell down a flight of stairs and ruined most of my bones. He saw me through that. And one other thing I thought of, but I can't remember what it is now, that happened.
How many heart?
Oh, heart. Yeah, I've had 29 heart caths, and I've got 9 stents, and I've had 2 heart attacks, and he's seen me through all of that. And always on the way over in the ambulance, I'll say, well, Lord, if you're finished with me, that's okay. I guess if you're not finished with me, I guess that's okay. Well, apparently he wasn't finished with me yet because I'm still here. But he supported me through all of that, so now I guess it's my turn to support him. He's been reasonably healthy all his life, and but we just our kids take care of us now more than we take care of them, but we take care of each other too, and that's important. So.
And there's one thing about our relation: we like each other.
That's right. Not only do we love each other, but we like each other.
Yeah. Sometimes we get a little testy with each other, but it's
I'm not sure he always likes me or I always like him, but we love each other, and that covers that up, I guess.
That's probably the secret to a good and lasting marriage.
Yeah.
That probably is. I was sitting here thinking about all the people that we've been involved in, like Linda Baines and Bob Baines. They furnished this wonderful home for us because we got to the point where he couldn't do the lawn, the maintenance and stuff anymore. So we knew that we had to have a place to rent, and they bought this house and rehabbed it for us. And she's one of our daughters too, and always has been. And we were so fortunate of the young people. I just came from getting a massage from Lori Lockard. We played on a praise team together, and they became part of our family. Yep. And just all the things that we have had the opportunity to do. People that he was in the Navy with, that we kept in touch with, and kept a relationship with, and then ended up in North Carolina with what his friend Whitey, and had a great time then. Our kids grew up together, and he has since died, but Peg's still alive. And then my friend Veda, we met in North Carolina that we're still in touch with, and so we had some long-term relationships. There's no way on earth we could have ever kept up with all the people that we met. At one time, I corresponded with 100 people. And one year I said, I can't do this anymore. So I found a couple of them on Facebook, but when you travel all that time and with different people all the time, you end up with people that you can't keep up with. But the ones we did in those years were wonderful. I think I enjoyed traveling more than he did.
What?
And,
enjoyed traveling?
You what?
You what?
I said, I think I enjoyed traveling more than you did.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
We moved 12 times a year. Most of the time we lived in motels. And back then motels were not like they are today. They thought we were a bunch of gypsies and were not well received in some areas. But we had wonderful. And we met so many friends and learned so many things. Got great recipes from a lot of those people from different cultures. And we lived from Maine to California and Florida and just all over the place. I don't remember how many states we lived in.
Yeah, we got to experience Florida when we lived there. We lived a quarter of a mile from the beach. So
It was wonderful.
We could just run over past the highway and go down to the beach and spend an hour or two, and that's what Florida's all about.
Yeah, we had a great time in Florida, and we had some great friends there, and
Yeah.
every place we lived, we made good friends. And then sometimes we traveled with the same people. A couple of guys were bachelors that we traveled with quite a bit, and so those were good times and good times to remember. And of course, a lot of those people we have not kept up with, but
Yeah.
and a lot of them are gone. So we've just lived, I guess, as long as God wanted us to. We're still here.
I thought you were
Hopefully
going-
doing what he wants us to do. I'm sure we haven't done that well, but we've tried. We've tried anyway.
Do you want me to get your coffee for you?
Oh, here it is.
Got it? Yeah. What is that?
That's my old nasty cup, yeah. Yep.
Cheers.
Yeah, he can't live without coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink caffeine.
Like I
And,
said, this stuff has got the best flavor. It's just,
Is that the one that Kay gave you?
yeah.
It's his sister.
It doesn't, I was Starbucks, but it just knocks your socks off. I mean, and this stuff here, you can drink it all day long, so it's easy. So I
what
only
you're
drink
drinking?
about, until I started treatments, I was drinking about 12 cups a day. Is that what you do?
I drink a bit, yeah. So did they tell you had to cut back your caffeine?
No, I've lost my taste to the point. It's the only thing I can really taste is coffee. So, and that gives me plenty of liquid too. So, yep.
He can't live without coffee, and I don't drink coffee at all. Years ago, I found out that I was allergic to caffeine, so I quit drinking caffeine, and I don't now have it because of my age. I have some of that, but basically, I figured that out. I was at the time I was involved in a women's group at church, and I was speaking at a national convention in Greenwood, Indiana, or Greenville, anyway, Minnesota. And Julie went with me, our daughter Julie and Gretchen, and Julie didn't drink coffee, so at the time I was drinking 2 cups of coffee in the morning. I drink one at home, and then I was doing a radio show, and I drink one with my guest. And so when we were up there, Julie didn't drink coffee, so I started drinking decaffeinated tea. I wasn't dizzy anymore. So I came home and told this high-powered specialist at KU Med Center. I said, well, I think I figured out what's wrong with me. And he said, what's that? I said, I think I'm allergic to caffeine. And he said, you'd probably be amazed how many people have to figure that out too. So anyway, that's
What time is it?
It is 11:52.
Okay.
So is Julie coming here?
yes,
Okay, perfect. I'd like to get maybe a photo with you.
Okay.
that'd be wonderful.
And is Roy coming with her?
Yes,
just Julie?
yes, yeah. Roy's
Be
with
nice.
her.
She had to go to Taco Tico. I'm telling you. And
They love the meals at in Hamptons.
yeah, Hamptons.
So that's when she comes home. That's what she always has to have. And then they stop in Fredonia.
No, I don't think they just came on over.
Some wonderful cinnamon rolls there. Free publicity here, folks.
At that truck stop there at the roundabout?
Yeah, but there's one in Fredonia itself. There's a bunch of Mennonites run the place.
They have wonderful food.
Yeah, what do they call that place there? Anyway, at the roundabout, Keith Martin, when we'd go to
Branson.
Branson, he'd stop there, and it didn't make a difference what it had the best chicken in the world, had the best potatoes in the world. Did you know Keith?
I did.
Oh, he was. And of course-
I would like to mention them. Ben graduated from high school with Keith and Kathy, and of course they have 5 daughters. 7K is their moniker, and they all start with a K, which makes it easier to remember them. But they've been such special friends to us all these years. In fact, it was Kathy that really got us to go to Haiti. We were scheduled to go on a mission trip with our pastor to Mexico, and they canceled the trip. And that day she'd received information from her brother who lives in Newton about this trip to Haiti, and it looked like it was tailor-made for us. So we went down there. They took their $5, and we took our 2 kids, and we went to Haiti. And we got involved then with OMS, which at that time was called Oriental Mission Society, and now it's OMS. And did so many things with them and got lots of people involved here. And Kathy, probably, I would call her the matriarch of our evangelistic missionary work in our church. And since that time, it has grown. And of course, many people went on mission trips. And I don't know how many times she's been to Haiti, but and I know her kids, Carrie and Kyle, her granddaughter. I think they've always all been to Haiti. But our friendship with them has just been wonderful. They were wonderful. Raised our kids together, and in fact, if something had happened to us when our kids were growing up, they would have been their parents. So, and Kathy, of course, now has just went through some major heart surgery, and Keith has since died. But a wonderful family, and a history with our whole family, and we're very great. Our kids were great friends, and those kind of relationships, even like with the Youngers that he was in the Navy with. And those kind of relationships in church, I couldn't even begin to think of them all, that have been so special in our life and our families.
Of course, you know what we're talking about now, the thing that makes things real is memories. That's what it's about. And, and people, like I said, I'm just, praise the Lord, we got to know you,
That's right.
Yeah. And so, other people, and well, we had Pastor McCracken was probably to us because he
was probably our mentor in spiritual life.
Yep. I think I heard Julie and Roy coming, but
that's okay. I'll just keep
keep it going here, and
they come in.
Yep.
They'll come in the back door.
Perfect.
It's been exciting to see how God has worked in your life. I'm going to flip this around a little bit.
Yeah, what do they say? Attitude is everything.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And it's just like Jean, when she's being interviewed, to flip the script and talk about.
Yeah.
Well, I'm an old interviewer, so that comes naturally for me. Some of the highlights of my professional career, we talked about Ben's, and I actually went to school in the first PA program in the United States to become a physician's assistant. And it was developed by Duke University, and that was in West Palm Beach, Florida, when we lived there. And we came back here, and it was my obligation in the business that we bought into to be the office manager, so I did that. And one day this guy came in. He was the new manager at the radio station, and he came in to thank us for being sponsors for the radio station. And we got to talking, and we had a great time. He left. Shortly after that, they called and asked me if I would do a radio show, a woman's radio program. And I said, well, how come you chose me? And he said, well, I don't ever talk about myself. And I was there for 3 hours, and when I left, you knew everything about me. So I figured that you could handle an interview show. So I did that. I think it was called Share Something with Someone to begin with. And then it evolved into doing Party Line, and I did an hour interview show for many years. And that was one of the highlights of my life because I learned so much. I mean, when you interview somebody every day for 5 days a week, and spend an hour with them, you learn a lot, and that's one of the things I missed the most when I quit doing that. But anyway, from there I went to become public information director at the college here, and had a great time there. And then was when Campus Crusade came about, and which is one of the highlights of my professional life, of my spiritual life. And then I went back to my old boss at the radio station, talked me into going back there to be the program manager, and eventually kind of the manager. So I left there, and because we had some financial issues, I needed to go back to work. So I ran our business from the part of the thing for our time being, and then I became the banquet coordinator at the Red Coach Convention Center. I'd been there, I think, like 6 weeks, and they told me they wanted me to be the manager of the whole thing. And I told my boss, Ed Pyle, I said, Ed, I've never even waited a table. He said, you know how to manage people, don't you? And I said, well, yeah, I could do that. So anyway, I loved that career. I loved the hospitality business, and I was there for 6.5 years. And then I decided that 60 to 80 hours a week for my family, and my doctor said, you know, you probably need to do something different. So I quit that. I loved the job, though, and it was wonderful. I had an incredible staff. We increased the business for 4.5 times in six. I was there 6.5 years, I guess. But we quadrupled the business in 2.5 years, and it wasn't because of me. It's just because we had wonderful staff. And then from then, I guess I retired. Did I go back to? Since that time, I've been on the radio station, and now I remember back when we were doing the Mayor's Roundtable, which Ed Lake started, and they were trying to figure out what kind of a title I had, and so Stan Stewart, who was our city manager at the time, he said, she's a professional volunteer. So that's how I became a professional volunteer. And I've loved every minute of it. I've done.
Yeah, she didn't tell you she was in 22 different things at one time.
Well,
yep.
I have to tell this story. She was Kim Andrews at the time. She was Kim Crawford at the time. She's now Kim Frost, and of course very important in our community. And she asked me one time, she said, I'd just like to ask you this question. I think I'm old enough now to ask you this question. And she said, well, now I think I'm old enough to ask you this question, I think. She wants to know about my sex life or something. And she said, no, I just want to know how Ben has coped with all this stuff. I said, well, you'll probably never believe this, but I couldn't have done half the things that I've done without his encouragement. And I remember one time when they asked me to be the president of the women's group at church, I thought, that's an easy no, because Ben's going to tell me I didn't need one more thing to do. So I came home and he said, well, I think that's a wonderful idea. I said, you weren't supposed to tell me that. Anyway, he did, but he supported me in every, whoops, there went the light. He supported me in everything I've ever done, and I couldn't have done it without him. To be involved with so many things and gone and involved in all that stuff, there's no way I could have done it without his support. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we were never jealous of each other's success. No. So, did you tell him you had a degree in what?
Yeah, I was trained as a physician assistant, but I never worked at that.
But you were.
Well, I did an internship, and then we came back here, and my life changed.
Yeah, but she got her degree as a PA and couldn't use it.
I had some struggles with that, to be honest. I spent all this time going to school, and now I'm not going to be able to use it, but life just blossomed out, and it's great.
I was going to say, you know what I think? You were able to use it, but you did it in the community, and you used those skills with the people that you were involved with. Maybe not professionally in an office, but definitely in your relationships with people.
I think I have been a professional volunteer, and I've learned so much. Everything that I've been involved with, I've been in the founding board of several organizations here, and one of them is still the Central Kansas Prison Ministry, and I'm still on their board, and that has been an incredible program for our community. And Len McBride, of course, is our executive director, and he's amazing. He's the most organized person I've ever known. Well, I'm thinking about something, he's done 3 things. And we really appreciate him. And then I was on the founding board of CASA, Court Appointed Special Advocates. One of the things I'll mention too, I was an advocate for abused women and children for 30 years, and rape victims. And
several times she got called like at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Rapes don't normally happen during business hours, and then we'd have to go to the hospital, and we had to take them to Wichita because at that time our hospital didn't do that. I don't think they still do. But then you spend time with them, and that was Kathy Martin is one. She got me involved in that. She actually started the program, and here in El Dorado with Vic Marshall, who was our chief of police at that time. And then Connie Phillips was really involved with that, and Kay. Kay somebody.
Tell you a little story about when we had the bus ministry.
Oh yeah.
on Saturdays, the people on the buses had to call on people that were on their route. Well, sometimes they'd be busy or something. So Scott was doing it, our son, and Ed Blake's daughter. And they were driving your Camaro, right?
I had a brand new Camaro. I think
And
I went through midlife crisis.
He pulled out in front of a pickup truck over on 6th Street, and the police came, and he was only 14, so they took his license. And that's where you know people. She knew the chief of police. Went down and got his license back. Yeah. Quite a
The car
world.
was gone. Was the car-
Well, actually, that car, the first time it wasn't even tagged yet when Julie wrecked it. And then it was hit 5 times, and Jim Phillips was our insurance agent at the time. And after the first one, he said, "Gene, I think you need to get rid of this car." Well, I didn't. I just got it back from being majorly repaired. I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and this guy came in and said, "Does anybody in here drive a red Camaro?" I just got it back that day. Randy Wells said, "Yeah, that's Gene." And went out, and this truck had backed into it, had the big things on the back of it that went right into that car. So, and then I got hit at the college one time when I worked there, and she,
Who's here?
"Hey, come on in,
You're on. Come in.
Hello.
come on in here."
What?
She wants to have you on
I
our.
wanted, well, they can put their stuff down. I was going to take a picture of you guys with Ben and Jean.
You know what we're talking about now? The thing that makes things real is memories. That's what it's about. And